Albania has appointed the world's first AI-made minister, pretty cool, called Diela or Diela. See, Albania, you need to invite me over so you can tell me how to pronounce it. So Diela, who is powered by artificial intelligence, will handle public procurement. This sounds like a disaster. What are they doing? But then the more I read about it, I was like, oh, okay, all right. I can see what they're doing here, and it's actually quite exciting. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is AI with Kyle. I'm going to be walking through the daily news and updates from the world of artificial intelligence. We've got some really interesting stuff today, including a new minister in Albania who is totally artificial intelligence, the end of a hunger strike outside of Google DeepMind, and a few other bits and pieces as well. Also, some more exciting news from Claude from Anthropic. Again, something that people aren't really talking about because, as we discussed yesterday, Anthropic aren't very good at marketing these things. So I wanted to bring it to the forefront because I really like Claude. Hello, everybody on TikTok. Welcome. We're going to be answering questions from mainly TikTok or YouTube on as well as Twitter. So throw your questions at me, and between the news items, I will swing back to them and provide some answers. And remember also, all of this is going to be available on YouTube. We cut it up, we clip it, we make sure that it's nice and easy to access. And it's going to be in a daily newsletter, which comes out every single morning at 8 a.m., which has a written summary of what's been covered, as well as direct links to the videos themselves. I wanted to quickly say thank you to the new cohort 5, who began my AI workshop kit last night. We had, I think, about 30 people on the call last night, and it went on for about 2 hours. So yeah, yesterday was a day full of yapping. I had my 1 hour long live in the morning. I had 1 hour building in public. That's the stream. I'm building an AI application in 30 days and launching it and hopefully making some money. And also a live call with the new cohort of the AI workshop kit as well. So a lot of talking. I still have my voice, amazingly, and I'm coming into the weekend so I can rest up a bit. But it was a big day of yapping, even for me. I am now a professional yapper, as people love to tell me in my comments. Let's hop in and have a look at some of the news of today. So the first one, this was from yesterday. Claude by Anthropic, they're bringing more memory into their product. So one of the killer features of ChatGPT is its persistent memory. It's the fact that it can remember and pull from previous conversations, and it starts to build up a knowledge graph of who you are, what you do, what kind of things you talk about. And it allows you to start a new chat and to have all that context baked in to your AI already. Whereas with something like Claude, you generally need to provide all of the context in order to make a chat work. So you need to tell it everything from scratch every single time, which is a bit annoying. They added, I believe it was about 2 weeks ago, a feature where you could ask it to go and get memories from other chats, which was fine, but that kind of negates the point of having a persistent memory, because if you, the human, have to remember all of the chats that you've had and tell the AI to go and get that information, that's less useful than the AI just remembering that information and being able to draw on it, especially if you're trying to make links between things that you haven't actually thought of yourself. They are bringing, it looks like, memory, persistent memory, across all of your chats into Claude. Initially, it looks like it's going to be in the Teams plan only. So today we're introducing memory to the Claude app, where Claude remembers you and your team's projects and preferences, eliminating the need to re-explain context and keeping complex work moving forward. So saving time from having to upload all of that information every single time you have a chat with it. So this is definitely a move in the right direction. Memory is fully optional with granular user controls that help you manage what Claude remembers. We're also introducing incognito chats. Okay. So this is a really important thing. When you have persistent memory, like in ChatGPT, sometimes you don't want it to remember certain things because either you don't want it in the memory base because it might be embarrassing, what's the best fungal rash cream or whatever it is. But more often than not, you might just want to ask a little question, or you're doing a little project which isn't really connected to the other things that you talk about or you use ChatGPT for, and therefore you don't want it to seep into your memory and to become part of that core memory with the artificial intelligence. So for example, one thing that I have is I talk to ChatGPT about AI quite a lot. Sometimes I will see a post on Reddit and I know it's wrong. They're talking about AI, and you know how people on Reddit are. They're talking with such confidence, but you know that they're wrong, but you can't necessarily quite work out why they're wrong. So sometimes I would take that over to ChatGPT and I'll just copy and paste in the post and say, there's something not right about this, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Help me to work out why they're incorrect or help me understand their argument better. I would generally do that in a private chat because I don't want this random Redditor spouting rubbish ideas. I don't want that to become part of my persistent memory inside of AI. So having anonymous chats is very important when you have a persistent memory, so you can separate out the two. So memory, it looks like it's rolling out to team and enterprise users starting today. And incognito chat is now available for all Claude users. So we'll all be able to have private chats with Claude. I'm just going to check that now. Once I finally type it. How do we do it? Oh, here we go. Use incognito chat. Oh, so there's a little ghost icon. Oh, that is very cute. There's a little, it looks like the ghost from Pac-Man. So I think, there we go. So now I'm in incognito. So everybody has that new function inside of Claude, the ability to have a private incognito anonymous chat. And some users, teams and enterprise, have memory. I imagine they're going to be rolling that down to Max, Pro and Free eventually. I'm not seeing anything about it. I can ask my contact at Anthropic. I'll bully him. Tell me when it's coming. Also, projects. So if you use projects already, it's very similar in Claude and in ChatGPT, but Claude invented it. They came up with it first, not ChatGPT. But if you use projects, what that does already is it creates like a separate memory. It cuts it away from everything else that you're doing, and it creates a workspace that has its own documents, its own project knowledge, etc. Really useful if you don't use it. So it looks like if you use projects, Claude creates a separate memory for each project. This ensures that your product launch planning stays separate from client work and confidential discussions remain separate from general operations. Cool. So the projects will not pull on other projects. So that's a way of ring fencing, which is really useful if you are. So I run a couple of different businesses and I don't want them to interact with each other inside of AI because, let's say, like yesterday, I was putting together a new welcome email sequence and I was using Claude. And if it had knowledge of other products that I sell, it might have pulled in information about them, which is not helpful. So it's useful to have them fenced off. So all in all, really good news. This is, again, only for enterprise and teams for now, but hopefully we'll see it come down to the Pro, Max and Free accounts, because I think that persistent memory is the killer feature when it comes to adoption and, more importantly, locking in on a certain artificial intelligence. This is the only reason why I still use ChatGPT. I actually prefer Claude's outputs. I find Claude to be a better model, but ChatGPT has persistent memories, which means I don't need to re-enter the context every single time, which is a killer feature. And the more you use ChatGPT, the more it learns about you, and the harder it is to leave ChatGPT, the harder it is to use another artificial intelligence. So I do not know why the other AI companies are not using persistent memory. I do. It's complicated and it uses more tokens, but I think it's a killer feature and they should all be adding it ASAP. So I saw this tweet from Nick Dobos. Oh, I don't know why I just saw it because it's actually from July. That's weird. I wonder why Twitter showed it to me. Anyway, Nick was saying ChatGPT agent best use case I've found so far is a prompt. Find discount codes for store, then go to the site, add an item to the cart, go to checkout and test the discount code. A really cool usage of an agent because it allows you to find discounts. You don't have to go to one of those weird voucher sites and to actually go and test them. So I went ahead and tried this out in the agent mode. At the moment, I'm looking to buy a folding bike, a Brompton bike. They're not cheap. They're about $3,000 or something. So I was like, okay, let's see if we can get some money off that. I didn't actually use his prompt, so I'm going to go ahead and try that myself. So I didn't read it properly. So I said, I'm going to buy a Brompton bike here in the UK, ideally a 12-speed P-line. Can you help me find discount codes and offers? And it's found me a few offers. So I have a £100 off referral scheme, renewed bikes are 20% cheaper. It's not really the same. And a cycle to work scheme. And then it found things like a newsletter voucher. So sign up to Balf's Bikes newsletter to receive a code given 10% off. That's not very useful. NHS discount, customer reward, trade back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to say find discount codes for Brompton bikes. Go to the site. So I'm going to send it on another job, which is actually to go and check discount codes against against the website to make sure that they work. So I think this is a really cool way to do it. Brompton's probably the wrong thing to do this with because they don't really discount their bikes. Maybe we should do it something else. What should we do it with? Let's start a new chat, and I'm probably about to build a PC. New chat. So what's it? Is it 970 or 980? No. What's the top NVIDIA card at the moment? 590? I should know this. For gaming, not for AI. Is it 590? Probably the 590. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. It doesn't really matter for this. Find discount codes for an NVIDIA 590. Go to the site, add the item to a cart, go to checkout and test the discount code. So we're going to, this is in Claude. We're going to, I'm not doing it in Claude. We're going to do that and see if it can find working discount codes for me. And I'm going to leave it doing that while we do the rest of the live because Agent needs to do something in the background basically. And that's in Agent. That's going to, for the next 5-10 minutes, do that work for us while we chat. So I just wanted to point out that use case because it's pretty cool. It's a nice way to do it. So if there's something you need to buy, try this and see if you can come up with discount codes and tell me in comments as well if that works for you. Nats, drop that process again, the discount code in Claude. So the discount code method that I just showed you would use ChatGPT because ChatGPT has an agent mode. So the agent will go off and it will search for the code and then it will go to the website and specifically try to use that code and to see if it is still valid. So this is a ChatGPT kind of tip, something that we can use on ChatGPT. We can't use it on Claude because there isn't an agent mode built in. We could use it on Manus. So I tend to use Manus quite a lot for more agentic work, but ChatGPT is more readily available. So that's probably going to be the way to go. You are just going to, I'll put it up on the screen. So find discount codes for name of the store, then go to the site, add the item to the cart, go to checkout and test the discount code. So I'm doing it right now. Find discount codes for an NVIDIA 5090. Go to the site, add the item to cart, go to checkout and test the discount code. So we will see how that works. Checking very quickly. It's already found me a £50 off voucher. Or, oh, that's interesting. If I buy a graphics card and Borderlands 4, the video game, which came out yesterday, I think it came out yesterday, then you get money off. So that's an option. But what it's going to go and do is try out these codes, and it's found a few already. So one is too much GPU at AWDIT, and it's found a £50 deduction. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the agent in the background is trying these out, testing them out. So it is going to these web pages. It's currently at awdit.co.uk, and it is checking to see if this 20% discount works on that particular item. Oh, it looks like the GPU is out of stock anyway, so it's not going to matter. I'm interested to see if it will flag that up or not. Oh, it did. Okay, it's looking for ones that are in stock. Okay, cool. So that is working in the background. We're just going to leave that to trundle along. If you haven't used Agent though, it's worth playing around with because it's good fun and it can do tasks like this for you. It's just, the thing with Agent is thinking of what tasks are worth doing with Agent that aren't faster just to do yourself, if that makes sense. So something like this I could do, it would just take me a lot longer. So I prefer using Agent for, whereas if I'm just doing a quick query or I want to generate a piece of text, it's probably faster just to do it myself with ChatGPT rather than have an agent do it. So I think that's one of the large questions about agents. It's like, what should I bother using it for? JW says, hey Kyle, I have my first demo today with a business for an agent I vibe coded. Awesome. Good luck with that. If you want to give us details, I'd love to hear. I saw a post on, I think it was on Reddit, of a guy who set himself up on Upwork, basically vibe coding for businesses. And he's very open about it. He says, look, I'm going to come in, I'm going to help you build prototypes for pieces of software. These are the prices, etc., etc. And he's charging, I think it was about £3,000 for a basic prototype to come in, build it for them. And he was very clear about the stipulations and what he builds, what he doesn't build. And he seemed to be doing extremely well. He was booked up and he was having to hire another person to come and work with him. So it's definitely a really useful tool for businesses. Awesome. That's really exciting. I hope that goes well for you. Tony says, heard that Claude can work with Excel now. Yes, I tried it out yesterday. It's good. It's really good. Interestingly, ChatGPT has had the ability to create files for a while, and it could hook into your Google Drive. You could create files. You could pull files. Like you could do this stuff in ChatGPT. It just wasn't very good. So I think a lot of people tried it on ChatGPT and it was rubbish, and it just mixed things up, and it was terrible at Excel, and it was really bad at PowerPoint. The Claude integration, which they released earlier on in this week, just seems to work, which is not very exciting, but it just works. So it's one of those pieces of news that I think is really boring, but quite important, because it allows us to start to connect these AIs into our actual workflows. And a lot of our actual workflows are Word docs, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Now we have an AI that can actually talk to them, work with files in Google Drive, so in the Google version or the Windows version, and actually do stuff for us, because Copilot from Microsoft isn't very good at any of those tasks. The ChatGPT integration seemed a bit rushed. Basically, they're pulling and pushing information back and forth, but it wasn't very well integrated. Whereas the Claude version, which is available now on the Max plan, and it will be coming to the paid plan, the premium plan, shortly, it just works, which is exciting. But Anthropic always are. They're not making a big enough deal about this. If this was OpenAI, they'd be ringing the bells and telling us how exciting this is. Anthropic are just like, hey, it works with all of your main software now. Have fun with that. Yeah, they're not the best at marketing, bless them, but they do have a really amazing model. JW says it's a research agent that can find leads and contacts for land buyers and developers. Very cool. V1 within the next 2 weeks, and with their go ahead, I want to add automations. Yeah, so 100%. Start with something very basic. Make sure that works for them, and then you build up from there. A lot of people, especially with vibe coding, I've noticed, go in too hard, too fast, and they try to build out like a whole CRM, all of the functionality. It does absolutely everything. And the problem with that is there's more chance of it blowing up and not working. And then your client's not going to want to proceed. Whereas if you build something that works, even if it's very simple, then you can scale up the work. And in the back of your mind, you can have that kind of scope of works in the back of your head, and you go in and you give them the basic version, which is going to cost a few thousand. Okay, there's actually a $10,000 version, there's a $50,000 version, and you have that prepared and ready for them in the back of your head. Alistair, absolutely, I need their positive feedback to win other clients. Yes, go and knock it out of the park for your first client, get reviews, get testimonials, and then you can move up and get more clients. Getting that first one is always the difficult thing. 0 to 1 is much harder than 1 to 100, always. But it sounds like you're close, so that's really cool. Awesome, man. I want to talk about Albania. You've probably seen this news. This is interesting because I was about to take a holiday in Albania, and I'm now wondering if I should contact the government of Albania and say, hey, I want to come and cover this story. It's a bit cheeky. If anyone has any contacts in Albania, give them a shout for me. So Albania has appointed the world's first AI-made minister. Pretty cool. Called Diela or Diela. See, Albania, you need to invite me over so you can tell me how to pronounce it. So Diela, who is powered by artificial intelligence, will handle public procurement. So when I first read this, I thought, oh, this sounds like a disaster. What are they doing? But then the more I read about it, I was like, oh, okay. All right, I can see what they're doing here, and it's actually quite exciting. So Albania has become the first country in the world to have an AI minister, not a minister for AI, but an actual virtual minister made of pixels and code and powered by artificial intelligence. Her name is Delia, meaning sunshine in Albanian, and she will be responsible for all public procurement, the Prime Minister Edi Rama said on Thursday. And I'm sorry to any Albanian watchers right now, because I'm going to be absolutely demolishing the pronunciation of Diela, sorry. During the summer, Rama, the Prime Minister, mused that one day the country could have a digital minister and even an AI Prime Minister, but few thought that day would come around so quickly. So what they've built, and apparently it's the only non-member human member of the government. I don't know if that's official or that's just marketing, but this AI is in charge of procurement. And the big reason behind having an AI do this job is anti-corruption. Because an AI cannot be corrupted. They can, but it's harder to do. The builders would have to corrupt it, basically. So decisions on tenders, like public tenders, purchasing from suppliers, would be taken out of the ministries and placed in the hands of Diela, who is a servant of public procurement, according to the Prime Minister. He said the process will be step by step, but Albania will be a country where public tenders are 100% incorruptible and where every public fund that goes through the tender process is 100% legible. So it means it's no longer going to be people interacting with people working out how public money is being spent, but instead it's all going to be passing through this AI. There's going to be more visibility. The decision-making process will be artificial intelligence, but it will be visible, and it's going to reduce, the plan is to reduce corruption and the amount of public money that is going into the pockets of ministers and suppliers and basically not being spent on the public good. So when I read that, I was like, yeah, that's actually a really good use of AI. So I thought this was going to be some hokey, pure marketing play. But if you're going to use AI in anything, and if you're going to put it in charge of a government department, then this is where you'd start. This is really cool. This is not science fiction, the Prime Minister said, but the duty of Diela. So Diela has already been introduced to Albanian citizens as she powers the country's e-Albania platform, which allows citizens to access almost all government services digitally. She even has an avatar, appearing as a young woman dressed in traditional Albanian clothing. Well, I want to see what she looks like, because that is really interesting. I spelled it wrong. Diela is apparently something from Avatar, The Last Airbender. Okay, oh wow. So it's quite a good avatar. I'm quite impressed with that. It's a high quality avatar. It's not, it looks like it's 11 Labs or HeyGen or something like that. Sorry, it looks like it's HeyGen. Diela will evaluate tenders and have the right to hire talents here from all over the world while breaking down the fear, prejudice and rigidity of the administration. Albania has long battled with corruption, particularly in public administration and in the area of public procurement. The matter has been repeatedly highlighted by the EU in its annual rule of law reports. So yeah, they are moving public procurement through an artificial intelligence. Really exciting. Obviously, we need to see how it's implemented. There are still a lot of avenues for this to go horribly wrong, or for it to be corrupted from the top down. But if they open up what it is doing and all of its discussions, this could be a new, much more open form of government, and it's going to make corruption, passing brown envelopes to each other, more difficult. If there are any Albanians on the stream or anyone watching this afterwards, I'd love to know what you think about the e-Albania platform, because Diela is already powering that platform, which allows citizens to access all government services digitally. Is that well done? Is that a nightmare of a platform? I used to live in China, where this has been happening for a long time, not with AI specifically, but an all-in-one platform where you can access government services, and it's done very well over there. So I guess my question is it well implemented in Albania, or is it a complete mess that everybody hates? Because that will probably give us an idea of how well the procurement AI is going to go as well, and if the implementation is sufficient. But I think it's a very interesting use of artificial intelligence for something that I think it can be used for very successfully. And initially I saw this and I was like, oh no, what are they doing over there? And then when I heard it's for public procurement and it's to check all the tenders and deal with anti-corruption, it's okay. That is a really cool usage. So best of luck to them. But I would love to hear from Albanian viewers what you think of that, because I'm seeing this as an outsider. And if anyone knows who's running this in Albania, give them a shout, and because I'd love to go over and cover it. I was going to head to Albania in end of September anyway for a holiday, so let's see if we can connect it. Cool. What else do we have? That one's fine. Okay, I'm going to quickly pop back. So I had an agent which was looking for discount codes for an NVIDIA 590, which is a graphics card that I want to buy. It's not a cheap graphics card. It's about £2,000, I think, or just under £2,000, so $3,000. So I'm looking for a discount code, and I'm using ChatGPT's agent to do so, based on a tweet I saw from Nick Dobos saying one of the best uses for ChatGPT agents is to go and find, but not only find, test discount codes to see if they are valid or not, because you know how it is. You can find these websites that have discount codes, but You then spend 20 minutes plugging them all in and being told, no, not valid, not valid, but they still stick around on the internet anyway. So ChatGPT went off and did that for me. It has found, okay, so the recommended retail price is £2,500. It added that to the basket, and then it's tried multiple codes for me. So too much GPU did not work. So that is not valid. So it saved me time. I didn't have to check that. CHGPU also invalid. Mayhem rejected. Nice. The general coupon code was accepted. A green confirmation message appeared. You used the code NICE, and order summary showed a small discount of 69 pence. Stupid. Okay, it's 69 NICE. So I got 69p off the £4,500 graphics card. Nice. So the only working code I found was NICE, which applied a very small discount, 69p, to the RTX 590 purchase. All other codes commonly promoted online, e.g. too much GPU, CHGPU, Mayhem, AHEM, were invalid. Okay, so it did save me a lot of time. It did not yet find me a working code, so I might send it back out to try again. This is also checking on one particular website. So I might say, okay, widen out the search, look on other websites, look on Amazon, etc., and go and find me this deal. But regardless, it did save me the time of trying all of these codes out on this particular website. So that is a really nice use of agents, even if the only code it did find was 69 NICE, which is quite funny, to be fair. So I'm not going to talk about that. It's not that interesting. Oh, I will give a quick update. So there have been hunger strikes outside of Anthropic and outside of Google here in London. So Anthropic strikes, hunger strikes have been going on for about 8 or 9 days. The Google DeepMind hunger strike seems to have ended. So it was being run by a guy called Michael Trazi. He was on day 7. Sorry, yesterday was day 7. Today is day 18, but it is over. It looks like it was over last night. So he was on hunger strike for 7 days outside of Google DeepMind. But I've just received a medical report from 2 doctors who have examined my blood tests. Oh, so he was doing blood tests. Okay, good idea. And upon reading their findings, I have decided to stop my hunger strike. They strongly advise me to end my fast, given developing acidosis and very low blood glucose, even for somebody on a 7-day fast. That runs the risk of hypoglycemia, which can be life-threatening. I had decided to see a doctor today after experiencing 2 near-fainting episodes over the last 48 hours. Yikes. Given the significant risk of seizure, brain damage and death, if I continue, I'm stopping my fast today and beginning refeeding. Thank you for everyone who supported me in this journey, both in person and online. My hunger strike ends now, but the movement continues with Guido and Dennis still on strike in front of Anthropic and DeepMind. Okay, Dennis joined Michael outside of the London office. I think I want to say on day 4. So he's been out there for a few days. So it's handed over to Dennis. And Guido is the guy who is striking outside of Anthropic over in San Francisco. The emergency remains real. We need to build coordination between AI companies before it's too late. When we reach the critical point where AI systems become powerful enough to pose catastrophic risks, we must have the mechanisms in place to pause frontier development and focus on safety. My letter to Demis Hassabis has been delivered directly to him, and I'm still waiting for his response to this first step. Publicly commit that DeepMind would halt frontier development if other major labs agreed to do the same. So it's got 80,000 views, which is much less than the original. When it started, the first hunger strike had 1.5 million views, so it made the news. It was getting coverage, but yeah, now it's over, and the comments are not very sympathetic. You should try asking. Yeah, I'm not seeing much support, but this is Twitter, so it's going to be skewed. Obviously, congratulations on achieving nothing. Yeah. Lots of people actually challenging the medical diagnosis, which is bizarre, and telling him, oh, I've done much longer fasts, you weren't at risk, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so anyway, I hope that your health is okay, and yeah, good job. I don't personally agree with the cause, but I fully respect the effort, and yeah, I hope that your health gets better over the weekend and you can refeed. Cool, so interesting. I don't think it was going to have much impact. It doesn't seem to be, but I applaud the effort 100%. Eric Watt says, how'd you get the agent to do that? When I try, it tells me I can't add products to a cart. Interesting. It had no problem with that for me at all. It might be the website that you're sending it to. Increasingly, some websites are blocking AI agents in the same way that they block like SEO spiders, or not SEO spiders, they block bots basically. So some people are starting to try to block AI agents. That might be the case. I would say try sending the agent to another website and see if it accesses it okay. And if so, then it's probably that website which is blocking bot traffic, would be my guess. But without seeing it, I can't really tell for sure. Wanted to cover one more piece of news, and then I'm going to switch over to my live. So we are entering, I don't know about you guys, but it's starting to get cold here in the UK. All of a sudden, normally I have all my windows open and I like the cold. I like fresh air. But suddenly, a few days ago, it's, okay. I think summer's gone. So this raises the spectre of energy bills in the UK. So I'm sure it's happening everywhere, but the energy bills and heating our houses keeps going up and up and up and up. It's not helped by the fact that we have incompetent energy companies over here, and maybe we need an AI Albania to come in and hack and slash them, deal with Thames Water while it's at it as well. But there is some potential good news. This is on energylivenews.com, a very exciting publication about energy news. The things I do for you guys, reading this stuff for you. So there's an AI which has been put forward. It's called... I'll read it. So a new AI-driven platform promises to help households save £1,100 a year on electricity, while cutting emissions and strengthening grid resilience. The initiative is the result of a £4.7 million partnership, which is pretty cheap, considering if it's going to save that much money, between energy optimization company Julen, I assume they built the software, and the Project Better Energy, PBE, the UK's largest residential solar installer. I always find solar in the UK a bit weird. We're not famously sunny, but okay. Launching this month, the platform will be accessible through a user-friendly app for households and businesses with or planning to install solar and battery systems. Okay. By combining AI with energy market trading, it enables customers to maximize their saving and even generate income by selling power back to the grid during peak demand. Households are expected to save up to £145 on average annual electricity bills, in some cases reducing costs to zero. What's the... 145%, sorry, 145% on average annual electricity bills. If you save 145%, then surely you're making money. Anyway, so this is probably a sneaky ad, let's be honest, for PBE and for Julen, but I think it points to kind of an exciting use of AI. This will not necessarily be generative AI. This is probably predictive AI. But we can use artificial intelligence, predictive AI, to better manage things like energy. So when this kind of technology is used at the much higher level, so the national grid, for example, it's incredibly powerful. But it's the use of AI that we don't tend to talk about very much. People have hyperfixated on generative AI and its impact on the environment, its use of electricity, which is a real issue. The use of water, less of an issue, and that's a bit of a red herring, but the use of electricity is really an issue. But we forget that we can also use AI to better optimize how we are using electricity. And it is already being used. It's just predictive AI, it's machine learning, it's other forms that aren't in the public eye compared to generative AI, which is the new hotness. So when people talk about AI being new, it's not. It's been around since the beginning of computing. The idea of artificial intelligence has been around. And then we've had forms of artificial intelligence for decades, absolute decades. I think businesses like Amazon are basically built on big data and machine learning. That's how they became an absolute giant. And even before then, we had forms of artificial intelligence. We just don't refer to them as, the people who know about AI do call us AI, but now in the public sphere, AI is synonymous with ChatGPT and generative AI. But we have to remember there are many other forms of artificial intelligence. It's a huge field. And some of them are going to save us a lot of money and a lot of energy moving forward, because we can use them to more sensibly allocate electricity and our national grids. Or in the case of Albania, we can potentially use artificial intelligence to allocate public funding and to reduce corruption, as we covered in that last story. But these are different types of AI. need to remember that. Cool. I'm going to about 40 minutes, so I'm probably going to finish up this stream and then hop over to the other live stream. There we go. Let me see if there's any questions. Hey, Joy. Not many questions today. That is absolutely fine. Cool. No, I don't think there's any more. Awesome. Good luck again, JW, if you're still on with that client pitch. And tell us how it goes when if it goes well, or if it doesn't really matter. Cool. So I'm going to be hopping over to my other live stream where I'm building in public. It will be day 10 of 30, building an AI application in public and taking it to market. I'm almost ready for beta testers, probably early next week. And then I'm going to ramp it up and get the marketing done and launch it. Probably not by the end of next week, but the week after. So I'm building all of that in public, showing you the process so you can see everything going on behind the scenes, and hopefully it will inspire some people to also start to build using vibe coding tools like Lovable, like Bolt, like Cursor, etc, etc. So hop onto that stream. If you are on TikTok, I highly recommend checking it out on YouTube because it is in 4K, 60 frames per second. You can see my screen. It's just a much nicer experience, but I understand if you're on TikTok, that's not a problem. I've got an arm that I'm going to turn around, put the camera in front of my face, and it will be able to see the screen. It's just not ideal for you guys. It doesn't look as good. It's also annoying for me because I've got a phone right here, but that's fine. I'll manage. All of these news items, all of the things we've discussed, the questions that have been asked, will get summarized and put in a newsletter. The newsletter comes out every single day at 8 a.m. You can find a link in my bio to get that. It's totally free. Also, the videos will be edited, tidied up, and put onto YouTube, where we are slowly growing. I think we're nearly at 3,500 subscribers. Good God, it's slow, but I'm putting in the work. Nobody can accuse me of not working hard at it. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed over there and in the newsletter as well. I'm going to hop over to building public. Have a fantastic weekend. Thanks, guys.